not here to yell at me. I was a little early on the point. Um, Eric's not here to fire
Gotcha.
me. But
That
that was
is
like
all right.
perfect timing with the music too. I don't know if you heard it. Like it was coming in with a
And
fiddle.
I have it super low, but it ramped up just in time. Yeah, you planned it. You planned it. Absolutely.
Yeah,
There's no
th-
other explanation.
that happened the other day. I forget something that it might have been the recap when we started on Sunday. It like started a song as soon as Garrett started the recap, and it was like, oh man, that was good, but I didn't do anything. Welcome to Echo Chamber, the session in between sessions, or the session in which we talk about other sessions. I'm back and forth on it again. Anyway, welcome to Echo Chamber. So we're today we'll be talking about this past Sunday session in which Amrook learned magic. Hello, uh, as well as um,
Can you hear me?
Amrook happened to have come up with a plan to bring in Harshnag, and Siddle rolled a nat mother freaking 20 to bring him in. How excited were you when you rolled that? Because I know my fist went in the air when I saw the 20 come up.
Dude, I was so nervous for that whole thing because but I mean, absolutely the best option we had on the table, right? But just like there are conflicting stories in my head canon. He's just this nice, big, friendly giant guy. But we talked to those guys at Xanthar's Keep. They're like, that guy was murderous rage. Doesn't matter who you are, murderous rage. Might be against the giants, but he's against you too. So it was oh, I really hope we're gonna be fine here.
All right, so I think he's probably seen or heard of the Giant Slayer before, and so when he sees that, he's gonna know that we're not,
You mean fucking
we,
business?
exactly. We mean business, and we are against. I wouldn't even say against giants. We are against like disorder of giants. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
have a feeling that's going to be a benefit. I did want to ask you though, like, how nerve-wracking is that? Because you get real quiet every time we ask you to send something. How nerve-wracking is that?
Well, I've had a couple of times where there's a key piece of information missing, and it's, oh
That's
fuck,
Garrett's
I just
favorite
burnt a
part.
third level spell slot. And yeah, Garrett's favorite part, exactly. He's like, I'm catching this fucker on a technicality.
Exactly what he's looking for. He's like, okay, you forgot to
Yeah,
mention.
yeah, exactly. So it's always like I'm gonna spend a lot of, and I'm whispering it. I'm trying to keep it, you know, I'm trying to keep the role play proper for it. And yeah, oh man.
Have you ever seen Critical Role Campaign 2, how they do it, actually?
I have not. I haven't
So
I haven't watched much of Critical Role, unfortunately.
So Laura Bailey actually, she's playing a cleric who has it, the cleric,
Hmm.
and so she's casting it, and so she's like 24, 25 word limit, and she's blah 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 blah, and like first couple times they didn't count, and then it was kind of like, all right, you gotta, you're abusing it too much type deal. So then her husband started counting the words that she said, but there was no
That's
retracting, there was
literally
no,
doing when I'm thinking through it. It's
and
just
it is like you're on the spot and words are coming out and you don't know and it's counting against you and you're like, I'm gonna run out of words, and you just, panic sets in. So I was curious if you felt that same panic as we're like, hey, can you send this message out, don't forget to say this and this.
yeah.
I will give props to Evan though. He was trying to help you. He was trying to guide you and say, make sure we say, these couple things to try and get him in here. He was trying. I'll give him props there.
Yeah, and I was really worried that Garrett was gonna be like, yeah, you got this response back in Giant, you have no fucking clue what it said though, or you missed out this word and you have to fill in with context clues or something. And
Yeah, that's kind
I
of what
was
I said about the repeating what was said type deal, like, like you're
mm,
getting married. To me,
yeah,
I mean, granted, you may not remember all 25 words in Giant. Giant's
mhm,
pretty, low key though. If it were some other extreme language like abyssal or something like that that you
yeah.
really might struggle to communicate with and then
I
translate.
don't even think I can make that sound. Yeah,
Exactly. So since it was giant, I think we were good. And
yeah.
but I completely agree with what you said earlier. Best option on the table. I know it sucks that we didn't get into a battle at that point, and
Mhm.
I'm sure Garrett fully expected us to go on that ship.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I want to throw out props to Eric. Eric, if you're listening, props at holding us back in this case, because Keegan was ready to fireball that, and
I
you
There
were
was a
just
big
like,
part of me that was too, but
oh, for sure, for sure. I mean, it was probably the most control we've shown as a party so far. So I think that really
oh yeah.
kind of speaks volumes to the Nasana fight, Grudhog. You know that we are. It may take us a little bit, but we are learning.
Hmm. Yeah, we're definitely still licking our wounds a little bit after the Masana fight.
Yeah. I'm okay with it at this point. You know.
Yeah.
I think Amrook. You know, he was pissed about it at first, but then taking out that frustration on the Giants previously, and having that realization that yeah, we screwed up, but um, we still got a task at hand. So you just gotta suck it up and keep moving, type deal. But
Hmm.
that's where I'm at. We talked last time about leader and leader Adrin, and it was almost like he took on that role to tell us guys
We're not.
we shouldn't go
We
on that
shouldn't.
boat. We should not. Let's think about other options for a minute. So I kind of like that aspect. Of course, Warwick wants to freaking fireball. I don't
Hmm.
blame him. If I had fireball, if Amrook had fireball, he'd be doing it. I don't blame you at
We'll
all.
teach you. We'll teach you.
Fireball. How'd you feel about that? How'd you feel about Amrook? That the like what I was doing there with him and just kind of playing around a little bit because Amrook's a really serious character for the most part, and it was fun as hell to be able to let loose a little bit.
See, I kind of take it as, okay, super serious, whatever character, but just has, an underlying sense of humor there somewhere that doesn't often come out, but,
Yeah. Um, do you think Amrook knows that he's not actually doing magic, or do you think he thinks he is?
Oh, I think he's fully aware.
He's
That's
a- Warwick thinks he's fucking with Amrook, and Amrook's really fucking with Warwick.
exactly, yeah. That's how I'm taking it. 'Cause it's even funnier that way.
That partially might be my intent.
Yeah, yeah.
It's kind of like a if I pretend, is he gonna fuck with me type deal or not? And he was hesitant,
Mhm.
and then I pushed him into it a little bit. So I wasn't gonna hold it against him, but it
Yeah.
was just fun. Um, so I had a question about travel. This time we had about 50 miles of travel or so. In your other campaign, how do you guys deal with travel? Because this is we've talked about it. I've talked about it with Garrett. I've listened to other people's conversation, but I'm just kind of curious. What you guys do first, and then we'll
So
talk about some other ways.
so let me here talk about the other ways real quick, and I'm gonna pull up a map really quick just to basically to say, hey, this is why my other campaign is probably a bad example.
Ah, okay, 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 okay. Well, so the other ways like I've seen are and there's modifications to each, right? So like you could on a daily basis make a d20 roll to see what either 1 through 5 is this encounter, 6 through 10 is no encounter, 11 through 15 is bad weather, that type of stuff, and
Yeah.
you can decide those. I've also seen or heard where if you have 3 days of travel, the DM guarantees at least one random encounter, and then they roll
Yeah.
for what you are encountering, whether that be owlbears or whatever. And then
Yeah.
I've also seen more of or heard of the fast travel type way because random encounters are cool, but if they don't tie into the storyline, sometimes that gets frustrating, or at least that's the logic behind it. And so just the fast travel of, okay, you guys want to go from here to here? Go ahead. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah, that's kind of how we handle it. The big thing though is that My other campaign is Curse of Strahd, and so you are in a pretty limited map where,
Mhm.
um, to travel from one end of the map to the other is only like 20 miles. So you can get anywhere within a day, basically.
Yeah.
Um, and so we will usually so the DM basically does a random encounter or a random encounter roll for every like 5 or 8 miles or so that you travel. I don't know his exact number, but so hey, if we say we're going from this town to this town, and it's 16 miles because it's almost the entire way across the map, we'll roll two separate things to have a potential random encounter, and then it is
Okay.
a rolling tally. So if we travel 20 miles on you know one day or whatever, and then 4 miles the next, that's 3 rolls total.
So
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 basically, once
that
our encounter goes the next 8.
yeah, that makes sense, and that is kind of scalable too. I mean, maybe it's
Mm-hmm.
not 8 for these longer travels. Maybe it is, that once every 24 miles. But
Mm.
no, that makes sense. So, I think there's so many ways to handle it, and I don't think there's
Oh
any way you
yeah,
could do it wrong. It just, I was
no,
curious because I've also seen, and this one was interesting. Garrett and I talked about it a little bit. I've seen where the DM will put it on the players to roll for their random encounter. And so that way
no.
you're rolling and it creates that suspense of, holy crap, what did I just roll for? Or, what, sorry guys, I screwed us up because I rolled a nat 20 and now we're facing this dragon.
And that's what our DM in Curse of Strahd does too. Is he'll have us roll and he'll have the whole table roll and basically, it's an over under. Did the majority of the table
Oh.
pass or fail, or a nat 20 from someone is automatic pass, a nat 1 from someone is automatic fail.
Yeah, that's the two fails, two saves type deal, and then you get the average. Yeah, a lot of times you'll do that for group stealth and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I
Uh,
guess I was saying so. It's like a random encounter table, and you have a section of that table that's blank. That if you roll in that section, you won't get any encounter. But if you roll one
got
of
it.
the hits,
So you're rolling a D100 and you're basically picking the creature at that point too that you're fighting.
or if it lands on one of those blank ones, then you're good. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yeah. Hmm.
But how do you
That's cool.
feel
I've
about
never
the fact of you rolling, the player rolling? I guess you guys do it as a group, so it's not as much pressure. I feel like it was if it was one person and you rotated through the table, it would put pressure on each person.
We'd be like, oh shit, it's Evan's turn to roll.
Oh shit! I hope the low part of the table is blank, right? Like there's some comic value there as well. So
There is definitely. I like that. That's kind of a cool concept.
it is, but it has its drawbacks too. You know what I mean? So
Hmm.
it's one of those things where if that part of the campaign fits it, great. If not, and you're trying to you know speed through travel a little bit more to get to that storyline. If we had like a lot of like a 9-day travel, it might get old, right?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely.
So
I don't know if you spend much time on like any of the D&D subreddits, but there's definitely stories of Dungeon Master from Hell, right? And so something like that would help alleviate that from being an issue where, random encounter could be, okay, we're all 8th level, it could be a fucking owlbear or something, which is not not too crazy for us, or, DM's like, I'm feeling like a dick this week.
I tell you what, you guys are lucky that I'm not the DM of the storyline because I would be a complete asshole. Like I'd be throwing this on a fight at you guys all the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I mean Garrett does a
Exactly my
great job of balancing, and I would
Yes.
be a dick. But I know that, and that's why I only do one shots that kill people.
Yeah. There's far less investment there than, oh my god, I've been working on this character for 2.5 years.
That's true. We've been on these characters for over 2 years now. That is pretty crazy to me. Um, Not quite 2.5, but yeah, over 2 years with the same character. Only one of us actually. Well, I'm gonna say two of us because I'm gonna count Siddle's near-death experience with the Flame Skull as
Mm,
a near-death. But other than
yeah,
that, only one of us near-death. I
yeah,
guess I don't know. You pass out and you kind of die, and then you're brought back. I don't know.
yeah. I think that's near enough.
Yeah.
Um, but I'm at the point now where it is a sunk cost fallacy, kind of thing. It's like I put so much time and effort into this character. We got to see this shit through now.
Right, right. I Nasana or bust, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right. One more thing, and then we can actually go into magic item of the week. Is the idea that as we left Nasana's area, actually we could talk about a whole bunch of stuff, but the thing that we didn't get a chance to talk to, as we left that and we kind of like licked our wounds a little bit. I think it was Evan. Maybe it wasn't. Somebody actually said about the captains being involved with Nasana, and
hmm
I we know that they're involved, but I think Evan said that he thought that they kind of led us to Nasana to die, that they were leading us to our deaths. I think that's the way he put it. Personally, I knew they were involved with Nasana because, I mean, Kraken Society and their ship captains has to be involved somehow, right?
Yeah.
But I don't feel like they were purposely sending us to our deaths. What are your thoughts? What's Siddle's thoughts?
So my thoughts and Siddle's thoughts are so we were doing an errand for. I gotta pull up my notes here. What's that dude? What's the
Captain Great.
great?
Great.
Yes. Um, I don't think he is in bed with Nasana. My thought is that so ship Riffin was gaining rapid ground, etc., etc. Um, I'm thinking that they might be in bed with Nasana or with the Kraken or however that whole thing maps out. I don't know,
How do you
but
think it maps out? How do you think she's involved with the Kraken Society? Because she obviously is, right? Or am I
yeah,
wrong?
I mean, I'm well, I guess I'm making an assumption that there's a Kraken involved. It could be that they're just this fucking cult who worships this mythical sea creature that's I mean obviously Krakens exist in D&D lore, but you know
A little Game of Thrones esque, right? Where the what was the creature of the sea that they worshipped? The Ironborn.
yeah, or it's
And
we worship the sea creature or whatever. We're just a cult that does evil shit in the name of the Kraken, um, and maybe she's the high priestess, lures people in so she can kill them and turn them into minions.
right, I was actually kind of thinking Nasana might have been a druid or something that could transform into, I guess, a wizard that can polymorph, right?
Yeah, yeah,
In theory.
that's a great point.
So I mean, it really Nasana could be the Kraken as well, and
Yeah, I
it
didn't
could
even actually think about that.
she could just be using it as a point of fear, and I don't know. There are a lot of options open, but so
It
what?
could be like Wizard of Oz, and she's the man behind the curtain, and fucking prestidigitation, something really really simple and low level. I mean, yeah, that's
That's
a great
true.
point. I hadn't thought about that, but anyway,
Very true. Um, I don't know. There's a lot of options with that story. So where does the Siddle story go from here? What in your opinion, where do we go with this? Like, because we're kind of stuck in this weird place of we just got our asses handed and we realize we're not ready to fight that bitch at this
yeah.
point. But we have all of these other little things. So what do we do? What's Siddle want to do?
I mean, my thought is okay. We had far too many near deaths at the last time we went to face her down. On the back of my head is still what is she going to do with my blood, and what is she going to make Warwick potentially do? But obviously there's not a whole hell of a lot we can do right now. So let's continue on the the business with giants, and I'm really wondering too if there's a chance that her and the Kraken Society and all that business have something to do with the giants. I'm not really sure though.
Because it's a Kraken, I kind of assumed that they did. The Storm Giants are in the sea,
Mhm.
right?
Yeah.
So I kind of assumed that possibly even the Kraken Society took out the Storm King. I could be
Yes.
completely wrong there, but that's kind of where my mind, tinfoil hat Carl, went to.
Mhm.
Um, I don't
That's
know.
kind of my thought as well.
Yeah, could be completely wrong. They could have nothing to do with each other, and it's just
Hmm.
one of those things where you don't know what's part of the campaign and what's just a side quest, right? Because
Hmm.
that's the story of a true good side quest is that it's actually tied in somehow.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's something
So
that's technically optional, but does add more to the lore, more to the story.
so back to what does Siddle want to do? Is Siddle's point now to look into more of his heritage now that he knows he's a pardon me,
Oh, gentle.
Bowenhusen is Bogentle. Thank you. Couldn't
Hmm.
think of it. Yeah, now that he knows he's a Bogentle, does he want to investigate that farther? Or do we go down that path, or do we have another path? I mean, we got kind of thrown into. Well, I guess we were already on our way to Port Last, knowing that we had to deal with some frost giants for the Lord's Alliance. But
Yeah.
what do we do after? What's the plan? What do you think?
I mean, my thoughts are okay. So we're heading south down the Sword Coast. Um, so where was the Rusty Nail? Was that in Neverwinter?
That's
Right.
next stop on our tracks.
So okay,
But you
check
went
out
to
the
the
Rusty
Rusty
Nail.
Nail. We can check it out, but I mean, really, you got lured into there. I feel like you didn't have much to do with it. It was a, and Nasana made a statement about you falling for it twice, falling for going for the book twice. So I have a feeling that the fake book, was there at the Rusty Nail, and that's what pulled you in. So
Yeah, I'm just more
Neverwinter.
curious about where was I before that? Hey,
Yeah,
am I a local here? Something like that.
yeah. How many
Mild
kids do you have?
investigation. Yeah, right. Mild investigation, but then the rest of it is okay. Well, we've got plenty of other shit to tackle right now. Let's you know continue on our merry way, and when we are strong enough to go fight in Sana again, we'll go do it.
All right.
But you know,
Yeah.
I'm not
So
the
so
only one with a side quest. So.
well, we do also have that the sending rock that we have to go down and take care of that. So it's kind of like
Mhm.
maybe we hit up these couple things, and that's why I mentioned Phandalin, of course, Neverwinter, some different spots that we can hit on our way because it's not a super pressing, but we should probably get there decent.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? Because I just don't want that deity to come back and inflict that on you guys again. I mean, we have gold to pay
Yeah.
for it to be restored at this point, which we didn't have then. At least I think we do. Reed probably does. Reed can cover at least one of you.
Yeah.
Um,
That
but
and my other um, the whole hey, so the giants have found the forge thing. That stresses me out a bit too.
well, it didn't stress me out that much because we still do have that piece with Nullbone. So I'm
Yeah,
not
peace with
too stressed
Malcolm, peace
about
with
that.
the Lord's Alliance. I still don't know if I trust the Lord's Alliance, both
I
character and player.
I mean, Amrook threw it out there the other day about not trusting the Lord's Alliance and that they could be the ones that actually did take out the Storm King as rumored. And, we're feeding them these pieces of the Vonendod. And really, like, they could be the ones building the Vonendod. Because you think about it, the Vonendod had something to do with Wave Echo Cave, right?
Yep.
Because that's where it was forged. And we're giving them these pieces. I don't know. Something just doesn't sit right with Amrook on that one. But and then again, to Griswold's side, they've never wronged us, and in fact, they've helped us at this point. Of course, they could be helping us to help themselves, but
Yeah.
nonetheless.
I mean, my thought is, okay, they just play puppet master. We think we're in control, but we're just feeding them pieces of Vonada the whole way through.
Right.
Now, I don't think they know about the one with Gnawbone, and I think we should keep it that way.
I agree. That one and maybe any others that we find. I mean, may not hurt to possibly get some of the other factions like the Harpers. I think there's one more or two more that we could get them on the pieces, and then that would kind of keep at least a system of checks and balances.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, et cetera, et cetera.
Exactly. But then again, I got my tinfoil hat on, so I could be completely wrong here, and they have nothing to do with it, and I am just accusing them without evidence. But I can't help it.
I don't wholly disagree, though. So.
But all right, I think it's time. I'm gonna go ahead and play the intro. So give it 5 seconds.
Right.
Get ready. Hold on. I'll point to you when. You're good.
Okay, so got three kind of neat ones off of the magical randomized spreadsheet. The first one is 100% an Amarok weapon.
Amarok weapon, eh?
Oh yeah. This is a Warhammer, legendary Warhammer called Metallotok. Comes out of Baldur's Gate. I was a little bit nervous reading through that maybe this is the Storm King's Thunder thing and I shouldn't put this on the list, but Baldur's Gate sent into Avernus as the source, so I'm going with it safe. So Metallotok, the Frostfather, is an ancient hammer forged by Therm, the god of the Frost Giants. The favored weapon of the demon lord, Kotzchi. Metallotok is frigid to the touch and wreathed in mist. You are immune to cold damage while holding Metallotok. Whenever it deals damage to a creature, the hammer radiates a burst of intense cold in a 30-foot radius sphere. Each creature in that area takes 10 or 3d6 cold damage.
Wait. Go back to that. I feel like we need to put a picture of the text up for any viewers, but you are immune to cold damage, as in you don't take damage. Yeah. Cold damage.
Do not take cold damage.
Not just a resistance, you're immune. That's pretty awesome when you're fighting ice creatures. That's pretty awesome.
Then you just have to worry about the boulders, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, and like going up against something like an adult white dragon or ancient white dragon that now can't do the frost breath on you. That's pretty. That's pretty potent.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that part definitely caught me. And then what was that about 2d6 damage whenever
3d6 cold damage in a 30-foot radius sphere.
And that's just an ability it has, or is that a reaction, or what?
That is every time you deal damage to a creature. So if you roll higher than their AC, it just doesn't.
Does it hurt? Does it hurt friendly as well?
So it does just say each creature in that area, so it would hurt friendlies.
What do you do with that? That's a golden handcuffs type item, right? Like you can't hit with it. So I guess that's something more for a spellcaster. Somebody who's going to do most of their damage with spells, but if they got to get in melee and they're by themselves, let the hammer down, pun intended. Okay, all right. Interesting. Wouldn't be something Amarok or Grizz could use, even though Grizz would try his damnedest to grab it.
Absolutely.
I'm surprised he hasn't had us go back to Grudhog for that hammer yet.
Oh, I forgot about that, actually.
I think about
probably
it.
has two. That's the only reason why.
I think about it because we were kind of punching above our weight class, and so that item was probably above our weight class at that time. It might be
Yeah.
about where we're at right now, and so it might have been. It probably does more damage than his mace right now.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
But I digress. What do we got next?
Next one up, out of Tasha's Cauldron of Everything, the Fulminating Treatise. This thick, scorched spell book reeks of smoke and ozone, and sparks of energy crackles along the edges of its pages. When found, the book contains the following spells: Contingency, Fireball, Gust of Wind, Liamon's Tiny Hut, Magic Missile, Thunder Wave, and Wall of Force. It functions as a spellbook for you. While you are holding the book, you can use it as a spellcasting focus for your wizard spells. The book has
Oh,
3 charges, and it regains 1d3 expended charges daily at dawn. You can use the charges in the following ways while holding it. If you spend 1 minute studying the book, you can expend 1 charge to replace one of your prepared wizard spells with a different spell in the book. The new spell must be of the evocation school. When one creature you can see takes damage from an evocation spell you cast, you can use your reaction and expend up 1 charge to deal an extra 2d6 force damage to the creature and knock the creature prone if it is large or smaller. That's pretty cool.
hmm. All right. A lot going on there. I feel like that one was
Mm-hmm.
almost a little bit hard to follow. I mean, eh, I'm still a novice to spellcasting, as you may have seen this past
Mm-hmm.
Sunday, but that was a little hard to follow if you're a novice for spellcasting. Uh, I mean, obviously that goes to one of the wizards in the party if we ever find something like that. So,
Yeah. So, adds a couple spells that, Warwick and I may or may not have. And then
I
being
think
able to do that extra
you missed one of
force
our
damage.
wizards there. You missed one of our wizards. You said,
And Emerald.
yeah. I mean, I'm just saying. Uh, Amrook, Warwick, or Siddle share a bond now. That's all I'm saying.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Sorry,
Um,
can't help myself.
it took me a minute. I was like, who the fuck took a level of wizard that I forgot about? Never mind. um, all right, last one up. This one's kind of boring. The other ones were cooler, but Cracked Drift Globe from Candlekeep Mysteries. This small sphere of thick glass weighs 1 pound. If you are within 60 feet of it, you can speak its command word and cause it to emanate the light spell. So,
Mm,
you know, insta torch, kind of just call it a flashlight,
yeah,
but useful enough if you don't have dark vision or a way to give yourself some light without, you know, expending too much stuff.
yeah. Huh. Okay, okay. One more magic item I wanted to bring up, and this is my backup for Harshnag. This is why I
Okay.
didn't mind calling him in. And again, I think it was the best option for what we have right now. Keep ourselves safe. I think Garrett's probably going to rework the battle a little bit, so I'm interested to see what happens. But I'm little meta. We do have a beat of force, and so I think we have one or two left. I think we might have two. Uh, Harshnag will fit in the beat of force. So
Mm-hmm.
if push comes to shove, we can throw that at him. We, meaning Grizz, can throw that at him, and then Warwick can force his portent roll to fail so that he's in the bubble for a minute. That gives us time to get away or to plan whatever we need to.
Yeah. Okay.
Legendary reaction.
Fuck that. Amrook
Hold on
says,
one.
I suggest you don't use your legendary action. Welcome, DM. I know you're fixing your audio. I just wanted to say welcome. I don't know how far you came in on that, if you got the magic items or anything, but
Oh, sorry guys, can you hear me now?
we
Yep.
sure can. Can you hear
All
us?
right. Sorry about that. Yeah, I didn't get to hear anything thus far, so I'm just joining in from scratch.
Oh, from scratch. All
Uh,
right. Well, we,
all
we
I
have.
heard was your plan, so I can now counter it.
No, was a little meta from me, but it was Emrook's like thought process of, okay, I now know what the beta force does, so if I need to, I can tell him to use it that way. So
I
that's
gotcha.
all. No actual plan, but we had previously talked in the session about pulling in Harshnag and whether it was a good idea, bad idea. We went through the gamut of conversations, all the way back to Nasana, all through Amrook's magic development, as well as whether we actually trust the Lord's Alliance at this point.
And I can't wait to hear some of these stories, and I wish I would have been part of it. But probably good, I can just passively listen from afar without having to throw anything out there.
I mean, you're more than welcome to give us some information. I feel like we're the ones that are here on Echo Chamber every week. You could give us a little tidbit of information that the others don't have.
I'll tell you what. You go ahead and you ask the question. I'll give you an answer.
Oh, I don't want to waste my
I don't
question.
even know where.
I'm putting you two on the spot here. You guys get a question.
All right, we each get a question.
Ooh, yeah. I'll each give you a question since you guys are right. You're day in day out. I love it. I love the engagement. So this is like an inspiration,
I
but it's a
like it.
question instead.
I like it. Rusty, you want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first. You go first. I'm struggling to come up with a good question.
You can answer this without answering this. What are the odds that Harshnag, after killing the giants, is going to see the giant slayer and turn on us? I scared him away.
No. I'm thinking.
Went from zero
So
percent to 75.
so if I'm answering your question directly as asked, he is going to turn on you because of having seen the giant slayers the way that was worded. I will tell you 0%. He will not turn on you because he saw the giant slayer.
All right. I did it. See, he caught me in the rusty sending right there. We talked about this, that you intentionally listen to him word for word with sending, just so you can catch his ass on missing a piece of information.
I approach it, frankly, face up. I mean, I know none of the other story. I get these words in my head. So I have no background. I have, these guys are in the middle of their day. They're eating some dinner, and these words suddenly appear in their head with no context. They just hear Siddle's voice. They don't get to hear any of the intent, the purpose, the anything else. So I try to play it that way.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. All I'm saying is you just sending me.
I did sending you a little bit. You gave me the old genie wish. You got to be very specific with what you ask for, but um, yeah, that is 0% based on the question you asked.
All right, fair enough. Rusty, you got a question for him, or you're holding on to yours? I think you only get inspiration for the session, so you only get the question for
That's
this
it. Ends
session.
of the session.
Yeah, I'm. See, my only thing is I don't want to, like, do like a selfish whatever thing and ask something about like my, particular side quest
You
because that
certainly
just doesn't
can. Hey,
feel.
you're the one here. You get the benefit. Forget the rest of them.
It's true. It's
They're
true.
selfish jerks that can't make time for us. So they miss out on it.
Yeah, you hear that, Evan? Because I know you're going to go back and watch this. You would get to ask any question you wanted if you show up. That's all I'm saying.
As we hear the onslaught of people joining the call, bing, bing, bing.
Bing,
No,
ba-ding,
they watch
ba-ding.
they watch it. Well, I can't speak for everybody, but Evan sometimes does watch it afterwards because I'll get a text message. Hey, good question on this. That's really interesting. It's like, all right, you're watching it. I dig it. I get it. Not everybody can watch live, so that's kind of why we
Absolutely. Hey,
we
that's
do
great.
we publish it. We archive it. That type of stuff. So
Whenever I can't make it, I do too. And I guess Eric might be the one that's just listening in right now since he can't talk. Poor
uh,
guy.
if he's not listening in, he will be watching it probably like tomorrow or Monday or something.
Uh huh. But anyway, so I bought you a little time there, Rusty.
So, all right. is there a faction who is not the Giants and is not the Kraken Society, who we may or may not have encountered, but they will maliciously sort of play puppet master, string us along, whatever. You know, the kind of example is Carl and I aren't so sure we can trust the Lord's Alliance. Maybe they're just kind of stringing us along, whatever. Is there someone who is or very potentially may do that?
Honestly, Rusty, I was hoping that would be your question. I wanted to be like, Lord's Alliance, ask him about it. So I'm so excited that you asked him. I know he's going to find a loophole, and it is what it is. I'm okay with it because at the end of the day, I don't actually want him to fully spoil the story, but nonetheless, I'm just stalling for time for him to be able to answer. Go ahead, G.
No, that's good. I'm ready. So let me. You threw kind of two parts into that. Are you asking, is there a faction that would string you along maliciously, or are you specifically asking about the Lord's Alliance in the end?
You know what? Fuck it. I'm specifically asking about the Lord's Alliance.
Oh, all right. No, not quite the way I was hoping you would go there, but that's all right. We will go with it. The Lord's Alliance has had no malicious intent towards you whatsoever thus far, and based on your current actions.
Wait. He did ask not malicious intent towards us, but malicious intent in general to Puppet Master.
Oh, malicious intent to Puppet Master.
Yeah, so they are puppeting those around them for their own benefit, I believe, is the question. See, I knew he was going to try and do that.
I know that's why I'm specifying. I gave the verbiage of what I was answering. Okay, that is. I'm waffling here on malicious intent, because I guess it would depend on malicious to who. They have their purpose, they have their intentions. They will puppet master for their intentions.
I knew it. These motherfuckers, let's fireball them. They're who we're fighting next. Let's do it. Fuck them. You just,
beauty is in the eye of the beholder, sort of thing.
You didn't.
I would say they're
now we have to kill Grizz, and then we have to go take them out. I hope you're happy, G. You just.
I am. I'm so happy.
Like I've been trying to kill off.
I guess that I'm trying to think. Would you define Reed as malicious intent? That's a borderline thing too. Carl, you and I were talking about this the other day, and it depends on if your alignment that you're coming into. But malicious compared to a good align, sure. Malicious compared to bad align, no. He's actually a good. He's a true neutral. So the Lord's Alliance is not intending to be malicious. From what you can tell, their purpose is fairly true. Let me put it this way: there is no major underlying agenda that you haven't partially learned about in any way, and they may, in fact, align closer to your intentions than even you realize. So, unless the Phandalin Phive is malicious in their intent, and you guys have a pretty big body count behind you, so to the Giants you have malicious intent. So. That's the best I can answer at the moment, but I like the fact that you guys are continuously just trusting, but they've given you no reason not to thus far, except for the fact that they may or may not have killed the king of the Storm Giants.
Well,
Well played, sir. Well played.
But then again, you guys have also killed the king of the queen of the Hill Giants, so if that is the case, you guys are on the same page.
Was that the queen?
It was actually you guys found the home. That was the primary location of the Hill Giants. That was basically their capital.
I thought that was just like a clan. You know what I mean? I didn't think it was like she was
yes.
the end all be all for Hill Giants.
We were just role-playing in the CIA in the 1950s. All right.
Yeah, exactly. It was the primary clan. Basically, that was the queen. It was the primary den. It was the capital of the clan. That clan was the capital of the Hill Giants' presence across Farron, anyways.
did not realize that. Now I kind of have a different belief. Put my tinfoil hat back on. So the ones that killed the hill giant or the storm king was actually us in the future. That's what happened.
Gosh darn it, they figured it out. Well,
Man,
we got a
yeah.
new
So
one to start next week. Let's go ahead and rewrite characters. Level 1, everyone. Tune
it's
in,
like
campaign 3.
it's like a Doctor Who reverse time. We went into the future and are coming back as our older selves are going forward into the future, and someday we're going to meet up and we're going to have to battle ourselves. That's what's going to happen.
So Siddle was actually messing with time in his experimentation before he lost his memory, and you were all pulled back, and that's why you all suddenly appeared in Neverwinter with these vague backgrounds that you don't quite flush out,
I knew it. I knew it all along.
except for Griswold. Griswold just found you guys and seemed like you seemed pretty cool
Hey, you
because his
guys.
background is very flushed out.
I mean, I think some of us have flushed out backgrounds that just haven't come into play yet.
Exactly, but for everyone listening, they don't know that.
I mean,
So now they're going to sit there and think, like, damn it, he's right. We don't know their backstory. They were time travelers. Quantum Leap style.
Quantum
Amrook's
Leap
just
style.
trying to get home.
Amrook's, I like it. Amrook's not trying to go home ever again. But anyway.
We've had lengthy conversations about this. Thank you.
Dildo is your Sam. He just shows up occasionally, helps progress the story. Whenever you guys, he showed up when you first leaped. He's going to show up again when you got to leap again.
Damn it. He's going to put us more in debt.
Yes.
All right. With that, I think that's time. Sorry you joined late, G, but you're gonna have to go back and watch. It was a good session. We almost went like
I'm good.
full on like theory on everything. You know, just talking about the random theories and stuff. So it was good. It was good for sure. We cannot wait until this weekend to actually meet Harshnag in the flesh and fight side by side with him in battle. And if I have to, I'll take him out with the Giant Slayer. I got no problem with it. I mean, I don't want to, but if he forces my hand, that's all I'm saying.
You know what? I'm excited. You have your battle axe. He has his. Potentially going toe to toe. Not
Ooh.
sure I'd bet on the Phandalin 5 on that one, but and I'll just drop that little one in there.
If it happens, you got to make me one promise. As he swings his axe, if he misses my AC, you got to make our axes make a little connection, sparks fly. You know, like Harry Potter style, where the wands meet.
Oh, absolutely. Or you both connect, and it's Balboa style, Rocky style, where
We
the two
knock each
punches
other
coming
out.
in at yeah, the two axes coming through, and that's where we end session. Both about to hit.
Yeah. All right.
I
Thanks
know. I
everybody
would
for
just say,
watching.
let me throw one last
last
super
one,
thing.
last one.
I'm just throwing this out there as a last comment, Carl. I made this to you the other day. I will say it on air to everybody. I am super impressed with the way you guys handled sending, asked that question, chose to reach out to Harshnag and make that, we'll call it a risky move to an extent, but a bold one to track him down after the hunt. I loved it. I was giddy. I was super excited, super proud of you guys. I was a huge fan of the Phandalin 5 at that particular moment, just enjoying the story because it was completely unexpected. 100 ways I thought you guys would meet Harshnag. This was not one of them. So awesome on my book. I just want to put that out there.
To couple on that,
Always happy to hear from you.
we were under control more than ever as well. So I just I want to say that we didn't just run in and throw a fireball on the ship.
Absolutely. I gave you guys so many little shiny things, and you turned down all of them.
It was rough.
I dangled the shiny stuff out there. I had a few others in my back pocket, and you guys looked them all off. It was frustrating and beautiful at the same time.
All right, Rusty, you have anything else before we end it?
That's all I got. All I got.
All right, thanks everybody for watching, and we'll see you this weekend to meet Harshnag.